Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we are well in the midst of clay. I got clay in
Clay.
my shoes, I got clay in my hair. We
Listen,
are on the road to Roland Garros. Brother Bryce, how are you feeling about what is happening on the clay courts going into Roland Garros?
man, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The the men's side is a little more exciting for me right now. Whew, yes, it's good, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. And but don't get me wrong, there's definitely some good stuff happening on the women's side as well. But shoot, let's talk about it. Madrid last week.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and you know what? Let's do this, Isaac. Since I set that up like that,
Uh huh.
let's go ahead and talk about the women first.
Let's do it, man. Let's go ahead and do it.
So, Madrid, we were there. I mean, not physically there, but we were watching Madrid. And the interesting thing is, for this tournament, who was originally the top seed? That I mean,
Well,
was it
it was Iga, but she
was it
pulled
Iga that she
out.
pulled out?
Yes.
So then Layla ended up. They moved her up into that number one spot as the 17th seed.
Right.
But you know, uh, you know, do we need to talk about how we got to a Pagula Jabeur final?
I tell you what, Bryce, it was a lot of upsets, a lot
Okay.
of, and it's kind of what we are relatively used to on the women's side of the draw, minus Iga Swiatek. Um,
Right.
because some of the more dependable people like your Naomi Osaka, this of course isn't her favorite surface, and she's
Hmm.
still kind of getting her footing. All the other ladies, there's always that little something that's going on with them, that causes them not to necessarily, capture the moment. Because to me, in my opinion, this was one of those tournaments where someone like a Sakari or goodness, why am I forgetting her name? Sabalenka. One of those two, in my opinion, should have stepped up and said, okay, Iga's not here. Let me go ahead and pull this out. And that didn't happen. There was just, in my opinion, more nerves and, Sabalenka got spanked up in the first round by Anisimova. So, and just some weird upsets. But again, that's what the trend is on the women's side. I mean, you had someone like Jill Teichman have a incredible tournament.
Right.
And we've always kind of looked at her and thought very highly of her game. So the fact that she's in a 1,000 event and not even ranked is pretty suspect. And yeah, just some weird upsets, Bryce, overall. So ladies side is just it's kind of crazy, but I think during clay and honestly during grass, we're gonna see a lot of that, minus Iga being in the draw. And mind you, Contavate wasn't in the draw, so there were a couple people that to me have that I hate to say mental strength that just weren't in the draw, and I think they would have brought a bit more stability had they been in there.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about some of these upsets, and I'll just kind of walk through a couple of them. And first one, I'm not going to really. This wasn't an upset, but I want to acknowledge it as maybe some growth that we're seeing.
Hmm.
Uh, Raducanu got through a couple of rounds
She
and
did.
and actually went down, kind of hard in three sets against Kalinina.
Yeah, and Kalinina actually had a very, very good tournament as well, because she took out Sloane in the first round and then took out Muguruza and gave her a bagel
Yes.
and sent her home and was like, I don't care if we are in Madrid and nobody's scared of you. You walk
Right.
on, sis, walk on. And so Kalinina, I have to say, yeah, I got to start putting her on the radar because she is getting some. I'm seeing her name more and more.
Yep.
So we need to pay attention to her, I feel.
Right. Well, and keeping it moving, Kasakina taking out Sakari in the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, opportunity there. And for Sakari to go out with a breadstick in the third, that to me that doesn't sit right. I mean, again, you're supposed to be a top player. You're supposed to be contending potentially for Grand Slam titles. And you go out to Kazakina with a breadstick in the third. Something just ain't right there, man.
Well,
Something ain't right.
what's worse than going out on a breadstick in the third? Is
Mm.
going out on a breadstick in the second. And that would be what Naomi Osaka did against Cerebus Tormo.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like we talked about at the Olympics, bro. There are certain players that Osaka is just going to have difficulty with. And I see a Cerebus Tormo being that type of a player, especially on clay, which is not Naomi's favorite surface. And Cerebus Tormo, like I said, the person she looked up to was Wayne Ferrer. So with is it
David.
no David Ferrer, not Wayne, David Ferrer. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, wrong one. And so she's all about that work, putting in that work, and she gonna
Right.
make you work. And if you are slightly off your game, she is going to make you pay. And that's exactly what happened when she got a hold of Naomi Osaka. She was like, "No, sis, we on clay."
Right. You don't have none of that black girl magic up here. No, you don't.
No.
So keeping it moving, starting to look a little better, I guess, is Andrescu.
Yeah.
Because she picked up Danielle Collins and definitely left her with them two breadsticks.
With two of them, bro. That was a big win. I was not expecting that type of a beatdown by Andrescu of Danielle Collins. But Danielle, I don't know. She didn't have her same feistiness as she typically does. So I wonder if she's still dealing with an injury, to be very honest with you.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And then, Halep with her new coach, Patrick Mouratoglou, free of the Williams clan now, apparently.
Well, hell, free of everybody. He didn't let the Williams sisters go. He didn't let Coco Gauff go. He didn't let Cece Paz go. Remember, he always used to be up in everybody's camp. He didn't let him go, bro.
Right. Yeah, that. Well, look, she had good wins this week. I mean, taking out Badosa, the number 2 seed,
There you go.
3-1. She.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at that. I was looking at Badosa, what she did to Cooter.
Right. Oh, yeah. She told her, you know what, we're not gonna be out here real long.
No.
But then she took out Coco Gauff 4-4. And so at the end of the day, with all these upsets, we end up at I was about to say a Masters. We end up at a WTA 1000 tournament with Jessica Pegula and Jabeur in the finals. And no disrespect to them. I mean, they're great. They're good players,
Yes.
But you don't, I mean, when you think of the finals of a 1000 level tournament, you expect for them to probably go out in the quarters.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
So,
it was definitely not your traditional, oh, this is who I would put my money on to make a 1000 level final whatsoever. I mean, because Jabeur was still struggling just to, get a title on, 250/500 level. Hell, same thing with Pagula. So the fact that both of them made the final was a bit surprising, and it showed in that final because to me there were a lot of nerves, and it wasn't the prettiest of tennis, if I have to, call it like I saw it. But overall, I think Jabeur kind of, she got a little mental with it, and then finally, I think she just kind of snapped out of it and was like, you know what, this is one of my best surfaces. I should win this match, and I think she really just kind of got herself together, even though she took that bagel in that second set. She really kind of reset and to me played really good tennis in that third set.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those were some huge swings. I mean, the first set with the 7-5, but then, you know, Jabeur losing that second set with a bagel and then coming back and winning that third with the whole biscuit. Big swings there toward the end of that match.
Well, no, all through it, brother, because Jessie was actually up in the first set. She was up a break in that first set, and Ons Jabeur kind of reset herself and came back and took that set 7-5. So, truthfully, you know, Jessica should have actually taken that first set, but then she started getting nervous at the wrong time, and then Jabeur, it was just weird, man. It was just a weird match all around. So for at least for 1,000 level, I mean, you know what I mean? It's just kind of
Right.
like you expect to see their best tennis come out, and I don't know that we get that in that final. But regardless, like we were saying though, these two young ladies got there, you know, and so that's a big accomplishment, biggest title, biggest final
Yeah,
for
for
both
both.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So shout out to Pagula and to Jabeur, and that's great. Now, do you think? No, well, I know we still have the Italian coming up, but it'll be
Mhm.
very interesting to see if they're able to parlay these victories into, you know, more results this clay court season.
I agree with you. I think both of them are playing with a good level of confidence. I still feel like there's, you know, I don't know that I would be picking them, you know, to go too far, if you will. I mean,
Right.
I would pick Jabeur to probably, well, actually, you know what, I would pick both of them to make the second week of the French. I wouldn't pick either of them to win it.
Right.
But I could see both of them potentially making the second week. When I think about everybody else that's kind of out there, and again, it's on clay.
Right.
You know, it to me, you know, certain people like Halep, it just kind of depends on how she continues to you know do under Patrick's tutelage and you know because I always think Halep is somebody to watch out for because like I
Mm-hmm.
said she has proven that you know when she is playing her top level,
Yep.
she can be rough.
She can beat anybody.
She
And you
can.
and you know what? She's probably hyped right now with having Patrick in her corner.
Right. Exactly. She's trying to prove something at this point. So
Yep.
yeah, I would, you know, if I had some spare change, I definitely would think about putting some on Halep to, you know, to do something pretty big at the French. I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, I think it's going to be Iga, but overall, you know, if someone is going to take Iga out, no, I don't know if it would be Halep because she already done proved that she could spank up on Halep at the
At the
French
French.
Open.
At the French. Look.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would. I still think it, even though Bedoza took that real bad beating, I still think it would be a Bedoza that or a Contavate who can potentially challenge an Iga. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but we'll see. I mean, that's why we watch it, man. That's why
Right.
they call it sport.
So, one question before we move on to the men.
Yeah.
I I didn't hear why Swiatek pulled out. Was it just, you know, just resting or
I think it was just rest because she's at the Italian, so she's planning
okay?
to defend her title at the Italian this
Mm-hmm.
week. So I just think that for her, she was just like, hey, I didn't spanked up on y'all enough. I'm gonna let y'all go on ahead and get your little crumbs, and and I'm gonna come back and defend my Italian.
Right.
So you know what I mean, and I think scheduling wise, it makes sense because it gives her a break. She goes into this one and you know she'll play for a week and then she gets another week off going into the
Mm-hmm.
French Open. So even if she does lose, that's fine simply because she's just gaining her footing. And that's the other thing that they commented on, Bryce, is that Madrid is a very different
Yep.
surface than the Italian and Roland Garros.
Yep.
So it's
And the
apparently a
altitude
yeah
difference.
the out exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she may be thinking, nah, I don't want to mess up my game. Let me
Right.
let me get on a surface that's going to resemble Roland Garros. That way,
Correct.
I know exactly where I'm at going into that tournament.
Correct. No, I think that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, man.
Now, look, as we transition over to the men, I want to repeat what we was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
For those of y'all that think we are overhyping Alcaraz, I'm gonna leave it right there, Isaac.
That's it. Look at the standings going into the race to the year-end championships. That's all you gotta say.
Right.
You know.
And if you want to talk about how Spain is representing, if you take Nadal's results and Alcaraz's results, there ain't no crumbs left for nobody else.
Ain't no crumbs,
No
none.
crumbs left for nobody else. If you take Nadal's results and Alcaraz's results, who else done something?
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's very, very limited crumbs. Limited.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
So talking about the men,
Yes.
you know, the men kind of held to form, right?
Yes.
Through the tournament. I mean, that we really didn't have a major or significant upset, I feel, until the quarterfinals.
Right.
Because, Djokovic in the quarters did what he was supposed to do against Herkic.
Mm-hmm.
Tsitsipas showed the door to Rublev.
Yep.
Zverev, told FAA to still go work on that forehand. It's getting better.
It's getting better, but
it's
you're
not
quite
there yet. All right.
Not just yet.
No. And honestly, going into, because, I'm just so stuck on Nadal, and when he gets on the clay and is ready to do his thing, I was expecting for him to take out Alcaraz. Now, I was expecting it to be a close match,
Mm-hmm.
but I was expecting for him to win. I wouldn't have been surprised if Alcaraz won, but I was still leaning towards Nadal. And Alcaraz, talk about that match.
I don't even know that I could put that match into words. That match or the other two. But Bryce, it was outstanding. How he played against Rafa that first set was just simply outstanding. It continues to be reiterated. The young man does not have any holes in his game. His forehand, his backhand, his serve, his volleys, his drop shots. They made comments basically saying that his drop shot is one of the best that they have seen all time. I mean, Some of the folks on the Tennis Channel were saying that. And it's funny because I heard Courier was like, all right, now Fabrice Santuro is sitting there with his eyebrow raised. And Andy Riley was like, he ain't had no power to back it up like Alcaraz.
Right.
And that's the thing. Alcaraz pushes you so far back because he's got that ridiculous power. And then he's got that touch that it's like, okay, you get too far and I'm going to put this drop shot on you. And I just was amazed at, and again, trying to focus right now just on the Nadal match because it's hard because you look at what he did, but he just really, in my opinion, Bryce, played some incredible tennis. And let's talk about what happened during that second set. He took a tumble.
Yep.
And Nadal is like, okay, he grabs the momentum.
Yep.
Doesn't win a game. In fact, he does not win another game that set. It was 1-1 when he took that tumble. And then Nadal was like, uh-oh. It was like, oh, you ain't 100%. Okay. And Nadal was like, yep, I'm going to put them things on you. And he did, gave him bread. But then Carlos was like, but we not done, sir. We not done.
We're going to test that rib injury.
We're going to test it. Because I am young and I got a whole lot of fitness going on up in here. And Bryce, I did not expect for him to rebound in that manner. And let's just, Bryce, let's put this in context. This is your hero. This is the guy that you looked up to, that the Spanish crowd was behind. Let's be clear. They were giving Alcaraz love, but you could tell they were behind Nadal. Right. And the Spanish president was up in the crowd checking out this match.
Yep.
How just all the people that were there, all the fanfare, for you to take the first set, have a tumble, get drove and get a breadstick the second set, to then be able to rebound and reset against your hero, the person that has the most Grand Slam singles titles on the men's side of all time.
Yep.
You rebound and you take him out 6-3 with
You know what?
come on, speak on it, Bryce. It
Well,
was incredible.
I think one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that they keep trying to dissect his game. But he's got the good ground strokes. He's got the good drop shot. He's got the good serve. He's got the good hands at the net. He's got the good movement on the court. I think equal to, if not above all that, is his mental game.
Thank you.
And
Preach.
because without that, none of those other physical attributes matter.
Yep.
And this guy is able to, and I think, I can't remember if it was Djokovic who said it in the press conference, but somebody mentioned, they were like, his ability to not lose sight or focus in the biggest moments of the match for somebody who was 19.
19, bro. Just turned 19 during the tournament.
Right. Is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely huge. And you're right. And you put all, because like everything that you just said about how Nadal is revered by the country, by the media, by, Alcaraz himself. But I do think one thing he had going for him with Nadal is probably the one player on tour that he has hit against the most.
Right. Very
so
true.
When you talk about don't get me wrong, that alone can't win you the match.
Right.
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 But I mean, I could go hit with Nadal every day for the next year and not beat him. Right.
Right.
But I do think that there is a level of comfort with his shots, because most people, when they play Nadal, I mean, unless they're, a veteran on tour or whatever, they've never played with anybody whose balls bounce like that.
Right.
And he's seen that a lot.
Yes.
And so I think that even helped him in terms of not only how he was able to play against Nadal, but he was not overwhelmed mentally about what Nadal had to throw at him. And so he was, like I said, he kept testing him. He was like, say it with your chest, say it with your chest. No, that chest ain't right yet.
Right.
I got you. So he takes out Nadal, right?
Yes.
Now talk to me about the semis. Djokovic, number one player in the world, looking good.
Mm-hmm. Again, and so he overcomes Nadal. We're still concerned about, the foot, and thinking, okay, how is he going to be? He played this long match with Nadal. What's up? How's he going to do it? He gets out there and, he balls. I mean, he played a great first set. I think Djokovic kind of did what Djokovic does, which, because he was down. Djokovic was down a break, in fact, and Djokovic was like, no, young man. I'm Djokovic. I'm number one in the world. So I'm about to get this break back. And he got it back and took it into that tiebreaker. And it was a great tiebreaker. But Djokovic, again, he's like, I'm the number one player in the world. I'm going to do just enough, and I'm going to sneak the set out. And that's what he did. And was I concerned at that point? Yes, I was.
Right.
Because it's Djokovic. I mean, let's be clear, y'all. It's Djokovic. And when Djokovic is, in competitive mode and he comes back and takes that first set, he really deflates a lot of his opponents. But with Carlos Alcaraz, Charlie was like, listen, we still got a long way to go here, sir. So understand this battle ain't over.
Right.
And he dug in, bro. He dug in, and he was really making Djokovic look uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that to me was surprising. Because Djokovic, or he'll do his thing where he's all off balance. He'll do that whole dramatic thing.
Right.
I don't think he wasn't playing. Alcaraz was literally he just was not letting him get comfortable, man. And while they were going back and forth, you just saw that young man had confidence, and he was like, you know what? I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And when he got that break to get the second set, I was like, okay, now, okay. And you start in the third set serving? That
Yep.
to me was huge, Bryce. That because it's that pressure at that point. It's like, can you withstand the pressure? And I think that Djokovic needed, in my opinion, to hold to at least, have his serve or hold his serve. Even if he had lost in a tiebreaker in the second set, he would have done better by being able to serve going into the third set, because I think he would have put more pressure on Carlitos, but it was flipped. And anyway, I'm talking a lot. It was just amazing, bro. I don't even have words for that match. That was one of my favorite matches to watch, and I watched all 3 hours and what have you of it. And I would have taken more if it were given to me.
I like
Talk to me
that.
about it, bro. What was your feeling during that match?
Well, I'm going to bounce back to the Nadal match. So some of the things that we said about him, now the situation was different.
Yes.
He hasn't hit with Djokovic as much as he's hit with Nadal. And, he was clearly the favorite.
Yep.
In terms of the crowd and the support and everything this time around. And so basically, I felt like he showed you in two matches, it doesn't matter what side of the situation he's on. It doesn't change what he knows he has to do on the court.
That's right.
And I honestly just want to take a moment, because, we don't always give props to where all the places where props are due. I think if Juan Carlos Ferrero does not get Coach of the Year,
come on now,
this year, I'm just saying, if he does not get Coach, because I think what Juan Carlos Ferrero has done with this guy is so beyond just being able to hit the ball within the lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So beyond that, and it's very reminiscent in terms of the kind of the vibe of the camp of the Nadal family camp.
Right.
Right.
I
mean, he's not his uncle like Uncle Tony was Nadal, but you feel that same kind of family connection, like it's more than just a coach and a player.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
There's a different level of investment there. And a different level of honor and respect from Alcaraz's side than you typically have from a player to a coach.
That's right.
And so I think a lot of those other things, I don't know if you heard the commentators talking about like something we've heard about another player where, they monitor how much he's on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The tournament. All these other things, they really play into the intangibles of what he does on the court.
Yep.
And so, so the fact that he was able to muster up everything that he needed to win 7 sets. Not many people win a third set tiebreaker in best of 3 against Djokovic.
Correct.
I mean, that's normally the moment where Djokovic decides, and Federer will come talk to you about it, when he decides that he's not going to miss a ball.
That's right.
He's going to dig in, and he's going to let you make the mistake. And that wasn't working.
That wasn't working, bro. It wasn't working. And Carlitos was like, yo, I can stay here as long as you can. I'm not afraid of you. And oh, by the way, here's this drop shot for you. Because Bryce, did you see how we ended the second set when he hit the drop shot? Djokovic gets to the drop shot, hits what I considered to be a winner. Alcaraz is so quick. That little something slid up into that thing, pushed it down the line, and was like, what's my name? Say my name. Say it.
What? Man.
Bryce, that match was so good. Oh, my goodness.
So, okay. So, we've got Carlos now in the finals.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the other semifinal. Now, I didn't see the other semifinal. I only saw the score.
Right.
But we had the matchup that we wanted to see down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Zverev against Tsitsipas, and Isaac, talk to us about it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you as well. I did not see. Funny enough, I watched all of the Alcaraz match, but I did not see
You
the
didn't see
CC
it either?
Paz. I did not see it, to be honest with you. Funny enough, I did see the Zverev FAA, which
Yeah.
was very disappointing because Zverev was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to you strong right here. But I didn't see the Tsitsipas match. Now I'm happy it went 3 sets because to me
Mm-hmm.
Tsitsipas, because he, clay is his surface. And what I will say is, even though I did not see the match, I would think that if they match up at the Italian or at the French, I'm still voting for Tsitsipas over Zverev if they do have to battle because again the conditions are different.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I didn't see the matchup, but again, very happy that they went 3 sets. But yeah, bro, I was so exhausted after watching Carlitos. I had nothing else to give. Um,
Right. Oh,
you know, and yeah, like I said, those 2 matches back to back, Nadal and bruh, did you see the match point against Nadal? I when he the fact that Nadal hit that lefty swing, Carlos runs and hits a one-hander to get it back
yeah.
in play.
Right.
And then Nadal hits a swing volley and he just curved it right into the court. I got chills, bro. I literally got chills. And I have grown to give mad love and respect to Rafa.
Yes.
But at that point, I was like, I want Carlitos to win this match. I
Mhm.
really, really do. And when he curved that thing in that corner, I just stood up. I was like, little boy, you better play this game called tennis. Is not what I'm saying, man. So I'm sorry, bro. I did not have a lot of energy. That bottom half did not get much love from me at all.
I feel you. Well, let me tell you what. This is the way I felt. So
Yeah.
going into the finals, you have Carlito who has beaten Nadal
Mm-hmm.
and he has beaten Djokovic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking, you are playing Zverev in the final, and I say, you bet not. You bet not
See.
lose.
See.
You bet not lose. And you know what? All I'm gonna say is me and my mom was rushing to scarf down our Mother's Day meal so we could get back to see some of the match. And I tell you what, if we hadn't have done that, by the time we got back, there wouldn't have been no match to see.
You'd have missed it. You'd have missed it. Because I'm going to tell you what, Carlitos was like, now, you know what, Sasha? Hmm. Do you know? I just took out my idol
Yep.
in the quarters.
What?
I just took out the number 1
Hmm?
player in the world in the
What?
semis. Do
Hmm.
you honestly believe that I'm going to waste some time with you?
And my ankle sore too?
And my ankle sore?
This ain't gonna be
Son,
real long.
this ain't gonna be long. No, you're not gonna be ready. You are not ready for this level of tennis that I have.
Right.
And he showed it to him, bro. I mean, he went in there and just snatched up Sasha by his little golden locks and was dragging him around that court. I was like, sir, you're not ready for this.
No, no. I mean, they showed, when they had the camera on Sasha at the end of the match when he was
Hmm.
on the bench, he looked like he didn't know where he was at.
He was defeated, bro. He just looked like he was straight up confused. Like, what the hell just happened? What just happened? I went through this tournament and I got skull drugged like this
Yes.
by a 19-year-old who just turned 19.
Just turned 19.
Bruh.
Yeah.
He was perplexed. Even during the match, them double faults, and he was literally confused. Because again, Alcaraz played him to the T. If he got too far behind the baseline, he drop shot.
Yep.
If he got too close, he just simply he just hit him. I mean, just as far as power goes. And mind
Right.
you, Zverev has a lot of power. We know this. He's a big guy. He has a lot of power. but Carlos can redirect that power. And he was just like, okay, I'll just take you down the line. If we're
Mm-hmm.
going to get in these cross courts, I'll just take you down the line. And if you get too far back, here come this drop shot
Here it
that you
comes.
can't read. Here it comes.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Bruh.
because, and I can't remember, I was talking to somebody and I told him, I said, with Zverev, where he can really get you is if he can get you in those baseline rallies. And
Right.
even though Alcaraz probably could have just hung with him, he was like, I ain't doing that.
My leg is, my little foot. I'm not trying to be out here spending time with you. I just spent 5+ hours with the
Yep.
number one play, with the two of the big three.
Right.
Do you really, Bryce? He cleaned his clock in roughly an hour.
He did. And something else I thought? By the time they played that semifinal with Tsitsipas and Zverev,
Mm-hmm.
they knew the result from the first one.
Oh yeah.
And Tsitsipas was like, shoot.
Right? He was like, I'm tired of that little one right over there.
I'm not about to become some stat on Alcaraz again.
Right?
Oh.
And we'll talk about that on the after show, but there unfortunately was another stat in that tournament, but we won't mention that here.
Yeah. So, well, so what does this mean? Let's about Alcaraz now. Alcaraz now has 2 1,000 level titles, a
Yes.
500 and a 250. We said by the end of the year he was going to be in the top 5. He is number 6 right now.
And number 2 on the race to the championships, I believe. Or is he behind Nadal, or did he surpass Nadal? I can't quite remember.
I would assume he was behind Nadal, so Nadal won the Australian.
Correct. There you go. Yeah, he's right behind him. Let's be clear. He ain't too many points behind Nadal.
Right. So I mean, I think people are starting to. The initial people were like, oh, he's getting overhyped or whatever. I think they're starting to come off of that because they're seeing the results. But what do we think this guy? Do you think he will win a major this year in 2022?
I do. And let me throw this out here, because I know the last time we recorded, or at least maybe this was on our after show in IG, I can't quite remember. But remember, I threw it out there and I said that I believe that Alcaraz is going to be a double-digit Grand Slam singles champion.
Yes, you did.
I jumped out there strong.
You did, and I hesitated.
And that's okay. That's because I get it. I was trying to be crazy, but apparently somebody else who was listening to our podcast decide they want to jump on the bandwagon as well, and I ain't mad with the company. Why did Jim Courier say the exact same thing during Tennis Channel Live? They were talking about Alcaraz, and he said basically, and I recorded it, because when he said it, I was like, did Jim just steal my stat? I said, wait a minute, Jim Courier. Courier put it out there and was like, I believe of all of because he was like, yeah, I give, Medvedev and Tsitsipas and all those guys, I think they will be Grand Slam champions. And he put FAA out there as well. He said, but as far as someone who I feel will get double digits, I think that is Carlos Alcaraz. And I was like, I feel that, Bryce, because again, if we are struggling at this point to find gaps in his game, and he just turned 19.
Right.
I just don't, again, barring injury, and this is what, we all know about the injury bug, so you can never, you just never know what's going to happen there. But barring injury, I just don't know that I wouldn't see him getting double-digit Grand Slam singles titles. It would be, and I honestly believe that he will likely win either the U.S. Open or the Australian. I don't know that I will give him the French, simply because I still feel like Nadal best 3 out of 5. Yeah. If he's healthy, and that's the whole thing, because they were talking about his foot and all this other stuff that's, they were noticing him hobbling a little bit. But if Nadal is good, I think it's going to still be extremely difficult to take him out at Roland Garros, best 3 out of 5.
I agree.
But if you talk to me about, again, the U.S. Open and Australian, I absolutely think that he can win a Grand Slam within the next year. I really do. What are your thoughts, bro? What are your thoughts, again, like you said, just on Alcaraz in general and his potential?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't want to repeat everything that you've said. I mean, it's we mentioned it.
Yeah.
The lack of weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the most impressive things I saw from him was when we were at Indian Wells and he was playing Monfils.
Right.
Do you know how good your drop shot has to be drop shot Monfils?
Exactly. On a hard court.
Right. Monfils is like the worst person in the world for you to drop shot.
Yep.
Because he's going to get there in enough time to make up his mind what he wants to do with the ball and then hit it. Right.
Exactly.
And his drop shot was so strong that he couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I am very excited about 2 things. Number one, I'm very curious to see what he looks like on grass.
Yes.
Very curious.
Yes.
Because the world is going to be in trouble if he is already Nadal on grass mid-career.
Sure enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
They in trouble if that's the case. Ooh. The other thing that I want to see, I need Nadal and Alcaraz to be on opposite sides of the draw at the French, because I need for them to meet in the final, because I need for Alcaraz to play Nadal where he is 13-0.
Yes, yeah, because that's where you're going to see. That's where you will see what's up. Because if he can do that,
yes,
yeah, get out the way. Just get out the way. If he beats Nadal in the final of the French, get out the way. Simply put. Right.
Now that's look. Ain't nobody been able to do that yet.
Nope.
And so that would be huge. And honestly, going into the final because of that, I would absolutely have to say, Nadal is the favorite going into that match. Right. But Alcaraz absolutely has a major shot.
Mm-hmm. Where would you want to see Djokovic?
I would want to see Djokovic on Alcaraz. No, you know what? Actually, I want to see him on Nadal's side.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need for Nadal to get revenge from last year.
Yep, that's where my head is. I need Nadal to get revenge on Djokovic.
Let Alcaraz take care of little next gens down on the other half of the draw.
He'll get Tsitsipas, because Tsitsipas is going to do well at the French. Because again, he to me is one of the top clay court players. So I expect him to be in the second week of that Grand Slam. But if he and Carlitos are on the same side,
he gonna be mad. He gonna be mad.
He gonna be mad.
He ain't had a single sniff of a victory against in 3 tries.
3 tries, y'all. Come on.
3 tries. So anyway, y'all. In summary, Carlos Alcaraz is bad, and get on the bandwagon. So
get on.
Let's quickly, we got, a few minutes left here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Italian is already on the way.
Yes, that's right.
And do you want to start with the men or the women?
Well, we're with the men. Let's go ahead and keep going with them.
Okay. So I just want to say, before we even look at the draw, I was so excited today to see Stan Wawrinka get him a W. Now, I'm sorry, it was against your boy, Opelka.
But that's okay.
But Stan, I need him back out there.
I agree. And quietly, I was happy with that result as well, to be very honest with you. Because, Stan's, he's been gone for a minute. He's still one of the big ones. So I need him to get some wins under his belt. And if that means Opelka got to take an L, take that L.
Right. And since we're just on the whole comeback thing, we had Dominic Thiem, although he didn't win today against Fognini, he looked good.
Right. Yes. Looked good.
So here at the Italian, because since Carlito, his foot is sore from stepping on all these other players the last couple of weeks, he decided to sit down for a while, rest that ankle, and he pulled out. So we don't have the Carlito show in Italy, but
Right.
we do have number one seed Djokovic. And let's just go down some of the seeds. 1 is Djokovic, 2 is Zverev, 3 Nadal, 4 Tsitsipas, 5 Rude, 6 Rublev. Um, FAA is next. Cam Norrie, Sinner, Herkic, Schwartzman, Shapovalov, Opelka, who's gone, and Karina Busta. So the most important thing really are kind of like your big anchor players. So you basically have Djokovic and Nadal on the same side.
Yep.
And you have Zverev and Tsitsipas again.
Again.
On the bottom half. Right. Actually, you know what? It's a repeat of the Madrid draw without Alcaraz.
Exactly. It really is.
So, we have what do you think's gonna happen? Now I do want to just call out, I was glad to see Karatsev with his slumping self get past Lloyd.
Yeah.
He's playing Djokovic now where there should be no pressure, but remember he already has a W on Djokovic on clay in Serbia.
Okay. So let's just call this like it is, bro. Karatsev always gonna be on my team. I'm always gonna have mad love for him. But Djokovic is going to beat the brakes off of Karatsev. He's gonna be like, bitch, you took me out at my home tournament.
Yep.
No. And you off now? I would expect a drop off to happen, to be very honest with you. I really do.
Right.
I really do.
The sign is gonna say hot donuts. It's gonna say hot donuts.
Hot. Come on, B. Come on. So we're going to leave that right there. As much as we love Karatsev, yeah, I am definitely predicting a Nadal Djokovic quarter.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do want to call out.
Rather. Excuse me.
Right. Now, I do want to call out in that section, even though I agree with you with the Nadal Djokovic. You got Wawrinka coming through there. I know he's just not coming back, but he's familiar with that clay and Djokovic.
That is very, very true. And Stan always good for trying to wreck Djokovic's wrists.
Right.
So yeah, you never know. Stan might step up in there and be like, "Listen, we go way back because I ain't scared of you."
Right.
I definitely give him a better shot than I would our boy Karatsev. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah, because I just feel like Djokovic is gonna be like, you know what, I owe you.
So yeah, so I agree with you. So I think it's Djokovic and Nadal, and then look at the bottom. Are we singing the same song? Is it Tsitsipas and Zverev again?
I honestly, I think we're singing the same song, bro, and I think there will be a different result.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think Tsitsipas will make the final because again, I think that these conditions mimic more of Roland Garros, and I think Tsitsipas's game, he'll have a little bit more time, and again, I didn't see the match, but I just feel like he will be more comfortable on this surface, and he will be able to pick Zverev apart a little bit better.
Okay, now who are you? So by you saying Tsitsipas is in the final, and I can vibe that.
Yeah.
What are you saying with that Nadal Djokovic semi?
Here's what's interesting.
Okay.
As weird as this sounds, and we always giving mad love and hype to our boy Nadal, I actually have a feeling that Djokovic will get through that match. I for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I think that I'm leaning towards Djokovic making the final against Tsitsipas. But I actually think Tsitsipas will take out Djokovic in the final.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like for Nadal, I don't think he will stress because I think his goal is to get matches on the surface to get him right for going into Roland Garros, because at the end of the day, Nadal don't really care about this title. He wants another Roland Garros. So winning the Italian is not going to do nothing more for his stats, but winning Roland Garros will.
Right.
So I think that you get a different Nadal in that Nadal Djokovic match, and I think I just think he doesn't play. Well, Nadal always plays with 100% intensity, but I don't know that he's going to care as much as far as the win-loss. Right. Just my own personal thought. How are you thinking about this? How are you seeing it roll out?
I can get that. I can get that. Here's the thing. There's no other scenario looking at this draw that I feel like strongly about. Right. Mm-hmm. What you just rolled out to me is, probably one of the more plausible scenarios. Mm-hmm. I do think, like we said, you never know what happens with Wawrinka. I actually, believe it or not, I don't know what has happened to Casper Ruud, but he doesn't seem to be having the same level of success on the clay this year.
Yeah, he's taking some relatively curious L's. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't think Tsitsipas is going to be bothered by anybody in his section. And it's funny, he gets, Rublev again. It's like, did they just copy the draw?
Pretty much. It seems like they did. It's crazy.
And Zverev got lucky because of who was that who was in his section, but was out. Who withdrew? I can't see it here on the thing, but so he got a lucky loser in that seed spot in his section. So
that's right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think, like you said, he meets against Tsitsipas. I do think because of everything that you said, with Italian mimicking the environment of the French more than Madrid, I do think that does maybe give Tsitsipas a little extra edge there. But we'll go with that. We'll go with Djokovic against Tsitsipas, and we'll go with Tsitsipas for the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we'll give him a little confidence going into the French.
We'll make that the brothers on tennis stance on that. So let's quickly take a look at the women here, and Queen Bee is back.
Yes.
So Swiatek is sitting up there on top, overlooking the rest of her subjects. Is there anybody in here that got anything for her?
Not in my opinion.
Well, there's Kontaveit there.
Kontaveit is a quarter. Yeah, Kontaveit could be a quarters. But I just don't know that Kontaveit is as dominant on clay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect for Iga to get through that matchup, to be very honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I mean, there's a lot of, nice players in here, but, I'm just going with Iga for the win.
I have to do the same, bro. I just don't know that I would see anybody else really being able to get with her. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on Coco Gauff though, because she had a very nice win today.
She did, taking out Angie Kerber.
Yeah, anytime you can take out Kerber, that is a good win. So I'm gonna keep a good eye out on Coco, see if she can make some noise in this tournament and hopefully get a little bit of momentum going into the French.
Yeah, it's weird. It just, when you're comparing the men's draw to the women's draw right now, it's like the men, well, they're both kind of one-sided, right? Because we just went through the men's draw and immediately went down to like the Final Four.
Right.
So I guess it's not that much diversity there. But but when I look at the women's draw, it's like Iga and three other ladies.
Right, and the rest. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Iga and the WTA.
Exactly. Is Osaka even in this draw? Is she in the draw?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't see her.
Yeah, I don't know if her head is in it on the clay.
Yeah, she might just be waiting for Roland Garros to come, and then she'll play that and be like, all right, I'm cool.
Let me just play one more tournament on this clay and get off of this dirt.
Right, exactly.
Who wants to play on dirt? uh, so, well, man, we are here to the end of the show. Any final thoughts you got? Going into the Italian here.
No, man. I just think it'll be some good tennis on both sides, even on the ladies' side. I know we don't have as much intrigue, but I think that there are some really good matchups there.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully everybody is geared up and ready to watch, because we got this, and then we'll have that week break, and then it's time for the major, Roland Garros. So hey, man, we rolling.
Stay French, and I know we ain't really talked about it yet, but Brothers on Tennis gonna be over there at Roland Garros. We're gonna try to see what's going on. We're gonna be missing our brother Isaac, but Bryce and Chet and one of our sisters on tennis.
Yes.
Marcia is gonna be over there. So we're gonna be giving y'all some little live updates from over there on the dirt. Trying to figure out how to keep all that red stuff off me. But we're gonna be over there trying to represent like we brothers on tennis.
We.
Yeah. Well, they not ready.
They not ready, bro. They not ready.
So anyway, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because we're gonna jump on this Instagram live and see what y'all got to say about Carlito.
Yes.
Real quick. But thanks for listening. Like Isaac said, we'll be back next week to talk about the results of the Italian Open and really have kind of some new and adjusted thoughts on what might happen at the French Open. So make sure you tune in and check us out then. So on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, take care.